This is the DNA Pest Control Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Anthony.
All right. How's it going, Anthony?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. How was it in your own studio?
My home studio is going good. I've actually upgraded my mic with the mic I found in my closet. So I'm hoping the quality is a tad bit better than my headset I've been using.
Oh, good. Okay. I guess we'll find out.
Hopefully. So, fair warning, we have a guest today, and this guest is an awesome person that I've went to elementary school and middle school with, and I've played baseball with them. And his name is Pookie Alzado. How you doing, Pookie?
I'm pretty good, man. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You are known for your work such as Gameday, All In, Reed's World. So what made you get into the rap game to begin with?
Well, growing up, as a teenager, I had depression, and I would talk to my counselor about it, and he really didn't have much help, but he gave me a composition book. He said, why don't you put your thoughts on paper? So I picked up a composition book, put my thoughts on paper, and I said, maybe I should try rhyming it, write poetry. Maybe that'll relax me more, and plus it's a skill. So I would just do poetry, and my boys were telling me, you should do raps, da-da-da. So I did them, and I didn't really like them. People clowned on me, so I stopped, and then I got really good at poetry to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it another try. And then ever since 2012, I've just been grinding, doing rap music.
And yeah, man, that's awesome because I've actually listened to All In. I've listened to Gameday, and the hype, because I've watched the music videos too. The hype you bring, man, like I got to admit, you're good. You're good at it, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that a lot coming from you.
Now, yeah, thank you, man. Now, another thing I want to ask is that because it's not unknown that there's aspiring artists that want to be in your field of work, Pookie, that they want to see themselves on a music video, they want to hear their voice on a music track, they want to do concerts, they want to do interviews. What's your advice for up and comers or young individuals or even any individuals who want to get into the rap game or just anything of the music industry?
Yeah, just stay on the grind, man. No matter what, no matter how bad somebody criticizes you, no matter what they got to say about you, just stay in your lane, stay in your zone, because it's like whatever wakes you up in the morning, whatever makes you the best of what you can be, just stay in that lane and don't let nothing stop you. And when people notice you, enjoy it for a second, embrace it, but get back on the grind ASAP, because you can get big-headed real quick, and then your talent goes down the drain. It happens that quick. It happens to the best artists with the most talent. They'll have a big head, and then they won't know how to write no more because they're feeling themselves too much. That'll kill anybody's career. And the best 100%. Way to go about it is to stay humble, stay in your lane, and just do what you do best, what got you in the spot you're in the first place.
Hey, Pookie.
Yeah, I agree, man. And that...
Sorry to cut you off, but I have a quick question. So what's a day like for you, grinding away at this?
A day like for me is waking up, have a cup of coffee, and it's not even an everyday I write songs thing. I'm a vibe person. So when like the day is just right and I'm just feeling down, or if I'm just feeling any type of mood, that's when I pick up the pad and pen and start writing. And it could be the next 4th of July. It could be the next time I write a song. I'll never know. But the best ones, they come to you. You don't just go looking for them, because then you can write some trash. The best songs come to you. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha, okay.
When I'm in my zone, though, I just, like I said, man, it's all vibes. It's hard to explain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that advice and the way you approach that should be the way people approach everything in life, not just the music industry. It should be, how you carry yourself as your character as well. That's inspiring words you just said there, Pookie.
Yeah, right on, bro. Right on. Appreciate it. You just gotta. My advice is to be humble. Being humble has got people to amazing places, and it keeps you in the mindset of it's not enough. And to me, those people have the greatest outcomes.
Yeah. Now, well, real quick, I'm going to talk in code real quick. Is the light green or red?
It's red. I got you.
Okay. No. This was for. It's an inside joke we got, Pookie.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure some listeners might know it. I'll tell you after. One thing I did want to.
I'm driving right now, so.
What was that?
I was saying, I ain't driving right now, so I don't know what you're saying.
One thing I did want to mention real quick is that I have checked out your Instagram and just like your comments on YouTube. And people all say the same thing, is that you're a very humble and awesome person. And it's awesome that you're acting out what you just said, because your fans and listeners are saying, dude, I seen him. He showed love. He said, what's up? He's humble, man. This dude's awesome.
It's no thing, man. I come from the gutter, bro. You know me. A lot of trials and tribulations in my life who made me who I am today. And everybody goes through something, and it's just how you rise above it. And I took the approach where I'm going to remain humble until, I'm probably dead and gone, ash to ash, dust to dust. Because life's too short to be, cruel to people, mean to people. It don't matter where you at in the world. We all have a casket. We all have a day with death, so why not use that power to be equal to one another and not, try to think they're better than somebody else.
Exactly, man. I couldn't put it any better myself. So one thing real quick is that if you're a listener here, if you are a Pookie Alzado listener, welcome. But if you're not, ways you can reach him are on Instagram. You could type in Pookie Alzado. It's Pookie space Alzado. Same thing for his Twitter. No space there. And his Gmail, if you have any business inquiries, and if you own a pest control business and you want this guy to, you want to commission him, are you taking commissions?
Sure, man.
There you go. So you heard it here first. If you're in the pest control industry and you need this guy to come speak to your company, a few $1,000, but he's available. So you can reach him out at Gmail at Pookie Alzado management @gmail.com. All lowercase, no spaces, no underscores, nothing. So let's jump into this episode, shall we? So Pookie, what do you know about the pest control industry from your point of view and from someone who's not really into the industry?
Well, see, going back to being humble, the reason I know about pest control industry because they was always at my house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had cockroaches in my house and rats, and we'd have to get up at 6 a.m. All these people in hazmat suits knocking on the door, going, "All right, come back in 4 hours." They got like these, they look like weed whackers, but they got tanks full of like that pesticide stuff that they spray. We come home, the house smelled like somebody put a bomb off or something.
Man,
that's all I really know, to be honest, and just all the dead rodents with their legs up in the air.
So did it work?
It takes a couple times. When it happened with me, it took like 3-4 times to get rid of them. But
okay.
Yeah, that's all I really know about pest control. And y'all expensive too. That too.
Yeah, that's true. We are.
Well, and
right?
Oh, go on.
I said somebody got to do it, right?
Yeah, someone has. Exactly, someone has to do it. But a thing a lot of people don't know is pesticides are pretty expensive. So.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm ready to ask you the hard-hitting questions here. This is probably something I want to do for if we have more guests that aren't in the industry. I want to ask you some untraditional questions about pest control, about pests and things like that, to see what the average bystander that's not in the industry knows. So, Mr. Pookie, I'm going to ask you, what's the difference between a bird bug and a bed bug?
The difference to me is I know what a bed bug is, and I don't know what a bird bug is. That's the only difference to me.
So it's in the eyes. It's something to do with the eyes. I don't know exactly, but right, Daniel? Is it the eyes?
Yeah. Yep. I'm pretty sure.
Here's another hard-hitting question here. What is an ootheca?
What?
An ootheca.
No idea.
It's a cockroach egg.
Oh, okay. So that is it's another word for roach egg then, okay.
Yeah. I don't know who named that, but someone that his name must have been John Ootheca, and he may have just put his last name to be the egg or something. I don't know why they named it that.
Kind of like Columbus with America. Okay, I got you.
What makes an insect a true insect?
And that's a hard question.
They're squishy.
They're squishy.
Yeah,
that is definitely not right.
Hey, I heard it from.
I'm squishy too. Does that make me an insect?
Possibly. I heard it from a very wise technician.
Oh man!
I heard it from a wise technician, though, Daniel.
You did. I didn't hear it from him, but I wish I did.
The other question I had was that when you see your, I know a lot of people call them exterminators or technicians or whatever you want to call them. But when you see them, like when you just see an exterminator in person, whether he's coming to your neighbor's house or your house, do they look like shifty characters, or does it look like someone you could trust?
I mean, honestly, he looked like just like a normal dude with a scruffy beard. Every exterminator I've seen, they got them big old goggles, glasses. You know, they look like they on a mission. And some I met are like straight psychopaths, bro. Like they look like they love killing rodents and insects and all that. You know,
I
like they ain't right business.
Well, that's the good thing, because if you look at it from an exterminator's point of view, is that rats and rat infestations and cockroaches and bed bugs and wasps, they equal money to our industry. The unfortunate part is they have to infest an innocent person for us to get the money. It's all a hustle.
Right, exactly. It's like, drug dealing. You sell weed to people who need it. You sell products to people who need their house exterminated. Supply and demand.
Yeah, supply and demand. Exactly, man. Supply and demand.
That's right. And if the tech likes it a little too much, you better be careful. He probably is a serial killer.
I'd hate to be his girlfriend. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
don't cheat on him.
No,
right?
No. You better not.
Yeah, he has a full arsenal that could probably pollute an entire state in the back of his truck, and I hope he doesn't do that, because then he'd get a big ticket for that.
Exactly.
So another question I want to ask you was that if I were to say that, let's say there's 4 cockroaches, and 4 cockroaches that are pretty common in California, would you be able to name them?
Probably not. I just know there's some that are really big, and there's like baby cockroaches, and then there's the ones like they fly. I couldn't name them.
Well,
I just know a roach is a roach.
You did pretty good.
Daniel, got the lights on that start running.
Daniel, did you want to give the names to them?
Well, I think there might be a little bit more than 4, actually. So,
well, I am a licensed. I'm a licensed professional.
You are. Well, so you do have. We kind of separate them to indoor cockroaches and outdoor cockroaches, but 2 indoor cockroaches, and now I can finally say I have seen the second one. But the first one's the German cockroaches. That's probably what you had, Pookie. You had the German cockroaches in the house that they had to come in. The second one is a brown banded roach, which I have finally seen here in California. I've yet to see one for 6 years, and I finally saw it. Outdoor roaches, you have the American. Those are the big ones, the biggest ones, and they're fast. And then we have the Oriental cockroach, which I don't even know how many more of those we actually have out here. But then we have the Turkestan. 4. We have 4. We have 4 left.
Yeah.
And then the Turkestan roach, which the males can actually fly. Those things they're terrible at flying, but they can fly. They're freaky when they start taking off and they're trying to fly. But there's 5. I named 5, and there probably is more because we do have. Oh, there is actually another one. We do have field roaches that look like German roaches. But we don't run into those very often. What was that?
Didn't mean to cut you off. I had albino cockroaches in my house. Is that possible?
Yes. So there's actually a joke that a lot of technicians play on each other. So they're not albino. They're just growing up. So before their exoskeleton hardens, they're white. And then once that exoskeleton hardens, they gain their color.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
pretty interesting.
Yeah, not too many people get to see that. So you seeing that is actually pretty cool.
They're also pretty tasty.
Only you would know, Anthony.
Only Anthony would know.
Me and Pookie go way back, and I actually do want to bring up a story. We were actually chatting about this earlier, about when we were playing baseball. We were on opposing teams. You were on the Reds, and I was on the Yankees. And were we juniors, or what league were we in?
We were in the junior league, yeah, because I didn't make it past juniors.
Yeah, so we were in the junior league, and this was a story I was also going to tell you about too, Daniel, was that since there was only 2 teams in our little league, one could go to the playoffs, to the whole county and the whole area. Well, I think we played each other how many times? 4 or 6 times?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was half the year.
Half the year we played each other?
I'll say 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times. Yeah, and pretty much the team that won the most out of the 6 times went to the playoffs. Well, I think it was our tiebreaker game or close to it, and we won the game. Somehow we had 9 points to 1 run, even though we only scored 3 points, and you guys scored like 7 runs. So do you want to explain what happened? How we got the win, even though we didn't even score 9 runs?
Honestly, I don't remember too much what happened. I just know my team got screwed because he was breastfeeding your child in the score booth and forgot to mark the run. So started like a riot.
I know. Okay, so I'll break the story down because I remember it very vividly. So I knew the umpire. The umpire was actually one of my dad's friends. And what they did in Little League, at least in the city we were in the whole league we were in, was that a parent, if the parent had a kid in the league, they usually had to volunteer. Most likely it was either the snack bar or the scorekeeper. So this lady who had, she was breastfeeding her child, she ended up being the scorekeeper for our game. Now, I was on the Yankees, he was on the Reds. The Reds were a far better team than us. They were much better record. They had better players. I'll be the first to admit it. They were the more awesome team, and they would do a lot better in the playoffs. Well, what happened was this lady didn't pay attention. She was actually one of the moms of a kid that was on my team. I guess she was breastfeeding her kid, and we somehow, even though we only scored like 3 runs, at the end of the game we had 9 runs on her sheet, and them, who clearly beat us, even the umpire was like, I thought they won, but I mean, the score is the score. He just gave up. He didn't care. They had less runs than us, even though they scored way more than us. So we literally robbed the game from them. And the umpire, who I still know, I seen him not too long ago. The umpire was like, well, they won, but it's the score. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to the bar. So a huge riot breaks out, and coaches start screaming at the lady, and I think a coach got ejected during the game or after, and it was pretty hectic for just being a little league baseball game, man. I'll never forget it. It's one of my fond memories.
So
Yeah,
you had
it was pretty crazy.
You had like parents fighting each other or what?
Almost, man. It almost got physical.
And no one else was keeping score.
You
It was
almost
just this
got
one
into a fight,
lady.
too.
Yeah. Hey, what was that, Pookie?
You almost got into a fight with one of my teammates too because of it.
Yeah, I know. I used to be a very hot-headed person, and a lot of it was. Oh yeah, I remember. That is one that happened. I remember you told me about that. Yeah. Oh man, I remember that. Wow. Yeah, I almost got into a physical altercation myself.
Was that during the game or after?
After. Well, because it got really bad because so what happens is when your team is usually robbed from a game that they clearly won, parents get a little angry, right? And my mom heckled some of the angry parents, and I think a kid told my mom to shut up or be quiet, and I was about to tear that kid's head off.
Oh my gosh! and let me guess, your team went on to lose.
Yeah, well, no, we're terrible. I think we lost every game except that one.
Oh my gosh!
I'm serious. I think we won 2 games, and one was a robbery.
Oh, we were so mad. We're like, we lost to them.
Oh man, it was great, man. I'll never forget it because the way it was a good introduction to life and reality as a kid. Because I think we were in 7th grade at the time, right?
7th or 8th, yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, we were in 7th or 8th grade. And we played flag football together, didn't we?
At Ochoa, yeah, we did.
And our coach was Obi, and I know you told me the news, and I hope he's resting in peace. He'll be missed. But Obi was our coach. What was that?
Wait, who are you talking about? Who's resting in peace?
Coach Obi.
Who told you that?
You told me.
I didn't tell you Obi died.
Oh, well, is he dead?
Well, he's dead to you, obviously.
Well, Joe Garcia told me.
Oh, did he die really?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm sorry I had to break the news out to you, man.
Oh man, Obi was too. I gotta hit up Joe and be like, what?
I loved Obi.
He's a good dude, man. I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah. Well, so our coach is Obi, and do you remember when my dad started coaching in 8th grade?
Yeah. He coached with my dad too. It was your dad, my dad, and it was Obi.
Yeah.
We're the 3.
So fair disclaimer was my dad. He may or may not have been. This is all allegedly. He may or may not have been intoxicated a few practices. But he turned the program around. He turned the Ochoa Bulldogs flag football team from 0 to playoff contenders, which was awesome. And they did make the playoff, but I eventually had to quit the flag football team because my dad made me. Because my dad got fired from the team. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
So my dad, comes one practice. He shows up in his car, and he and like I said, this is all it's allegedly. He may or may not have been intoxicated, and he had a few kids on his car, and he may or may not have been doing donuts in the grass of the practice field. While he may have been intoxicated, and apparently you're not supposed to, as a parent and a coach, you're not supposed to have kids on the back of your car doing donuts on school property, let alone the grass. So he got fired. You don't remember that?
I don't, but if you're gonna get fired, that's the way to go out, though, for real.
He was having a blast, I'm sure.
That or a barbershop quartet, you know what I'm saying? Like those people with the little canes and the little top hats looking like Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I quit,
Yeah, man, it was good times, man. I had good times with you, Pookie. And I'm looking forward to having more good times with you, man. We got to connect sometime.
Oh man, Reno's just an hour and a half away from me, bro. Whenever you're trying to go hit the crap tables, let me know.
Same here, man. So one thing I did want to ask you was, do you have any upcoming works coming soon, or any projects you're working on that you want to let everyone know listening?
Yeah, I'm working on my debut album. It's called All Rights Revoked, and it's about my time in the justice system and in the county jail, you know, and just how I rose above it when I got out, and just how I was in there, and how crooked the justice system is, because I was incarcerated for protecting my family. So I'm gonna talk about how I was in there on my debut album.
Yeah, and did you want to address what happened exactly?
Yeah, I mean, short and simple. Grown man, 33 years old, tried to pursue my underage daughter, and I kicked the crap out of him. And I got a felony for it. I'm a felon now, and like I said in court, I do it again for my kids.
And I mean, and Daniel, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, I mean,
I think it's BS. I think why I'm doing the album. Oh, sorry, forgot my name's Daniel too. His name's Daniel. My bad.
Sorry. No, I mean, I think. I mean, I don't agree with the justice system in a lot of the times, so I don't know the story, and you know, in a lot of the situations, is you have a jury or you have a judge who's deciding. And you have to win that person over. You know, they're the deciding factor on what really happens and what's going to happen. And so, you know, in some situations, if they just don't like you, or you rub them the wrong way, or you don't look the right way, you know, you may not get what you may get something a lot worse than what you deserve, or you might not even get what you deserve, you know? So, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing it. I want to hear, you know, the album, and you know, I want to understand a little bit more with what happened and how they treated you. So,
right on, man. Yeah, that's what this album's gonna be about. Just, you know, and a lot of rap groups have took this approach. The NWA, as the Police, you know, Mac Dre, Punk Police. A lot of legendary artists have took this approach, and they're legends in the rap game. Mac Dre, NWA, a lot of artists talk about the topic. And it's real. It really is real the way that you know, look at all the African Americans getting killed by police. Look at Breonna Taylor, man. Yeah, she was innocent bystander in her house, and she gets blasted, and the cops aren't even arrested. Like, I don't care what color you are. I don't care why she got shot. Those people need to be in jail until everything is aired out in court. Until
a lot of people agree with you, man. You know, and it just proves that life isn't fair. But as when we first start the podcast, all the motivational words you said, and how to approach not only your, you know, field of work, but how you should approach life, and the way you spread love, and how you're humble about things. That's what we all have to do as a collective, and hopefully things will change, man.
Yeah, all we can do as the human race is come together. That's my only input on that. With everything going on in the world, I know when George Floyd died, the whole world, not the whole world, but a lot of the world came together to that, and a lot of the world, you know, put themselves in his shoes. A lot of people who aren't African American put themselves in George Floyd's shoes and said, "This is wrong." And a lot of people were out there taking stands for it the right way. And a lot of people were out there taking stands just to loot and come up on free stuff. I only agree with looting for a certain extent, and that's sending a message. But I don't agree for your own financial gain. That's you know, that's my stance on it. But to send a message, I totally agree, because you're not going to find a cop go against another one, and that's where the problem lies.
Yeah,
you know, blue backs blue.
Yeah, no,
and that's where you gotta snitch on the crooked one. That's the only way we condone it, is if you snitch on the crooked one that he's messing up, and take matters into your own hands, form a union of cops doing right. If y'all want that respect, Y'all got to come together and get the crooked out. Form a union. Do something like that. And then maybe we'll start to see justice get served more. And people start respecting the police more, vice versa.
Well, you're right. I agree with you 100%. I think your voice is going to be, I think it's going to be heard, and hopefully that is going to help, a lot of the people that are in those situations that are crooked to get out. Because there is a lot of injustice, and that needs to be corrected. I don't think we're going to fix everything. That would mean we'd be in a perfect world, and unfortunately that's never going to happen. But hopefully it gets better, and not worse.
Exactly.
Yep. Amen to that.
Hey, and it all starts with conversations like these, man. Spreading love and spreading words of experience and spreading words of wisdom.
Yep, that's it. And so, all of us coming together.
Yeah. So, Pookie, is there any time frame, like say a listener on this podcast wants to check out your Instagram or your Twitter, any time frame when your debut album may be releasing, roughly, or?
I'm going to give it February.
February of next year?
Yeah, because I'm really taking my time on this one. And
hey.
I want it to be perfect, and I don't want to, rush anything.
Can't rush
Dr. Dre with Detox. Like Dr. Dre with Detox. He still hasn't released it yet.
Yeah.
And I ain't mad at him. He wants it to be perfect. And that's kind of how I'm approaching my first album, because I don't want my first album to be something that I'm going to remember as, I could have did this different. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be perfect to my specifications.
I hear you, man. And the care you're taking in your own work, some advice I've actually, or some motivational pieces of writing I've actually checked out recently where if you're not going to invest in yourself and your work, why would anyone else invest in you? So I'm sure a lot of people are going to feel pretty comfortable supporting you and purchasing your album, your debut album, knowing that they're going to get good work that you've worked hard on and not rushed.
Yeah, period, man. And that's the best work. That's how it comes. Why do something that's rushed, like you said, if it's not going to be what you want in the long run? It may be what you want at that time, but in the long run, you're going to look back at that and be like, man, I really did rush that. It sounds like crap.
Yeah.
You can't rush art. Rome was not built in one day.
Yeah. Well, hey, I love you, Pookie, man. I had great fond memories with you, elementary school, baseball, flag football, middle school, and I'm looking forward to hooking up with you again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you and Daniel having me on this. It was kind of interesting to learn about insects and cockroaches, and I'm going to remember that. So if I ever go through this again, I'm going to be like, that's a German cockroach.
Perfect.
You'll know who to call.
Like Steve Irwin, the cockroach.
Yeah, you know who to call, man.
And if I ever need business, I'm gonna hit you guys up first.
Awesome.
Hey, I wouldn't mind making the trek up. So just get it. You got me on speed dial, buddy.
All right, I'll grab you guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great night.
You too.
Everybody listening, check me out.
All right, thanks, Pookie.
Thank you, Pookie.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, so just to rehash on where you could find Pookie, he's an awesome guy. I've known him, like I said, throughout my childhood. Again, you can find him on Instagram at Pookie Alzado. That's POOKIEALZADO. Twitter, same exact thing, just no space. And shoot him a message. Tell him that you came from the DNA Pest Control Podcast. Or don't shoot him a message. If you're not going to shoot a message, at least share the podcast with someone you know, and rate it on whatever platform you're listening to, because it helps us out and it helps us be able to bring more awesome podcasts like this to the ether.
Yeah, he sounded like a good guy. I'm excited that you had him on. Super humble. I'm excited to hear what he has to say. I'm excited for his album actually in February.
Me too, man. I'll send you some links of some current works he has, actually. You can check out, he has music videos. Type in his name in YouTube. You'll be able to see some of his music videos. He's an awesome guy, man.
Yeah, let's get something on Instagram, maybe a short clip or even one of the full video. I don't care. Let's throw it up there for them to be able to see it a lot easier. So
I'll call him and we'll work something out. We'll be posting this episode and then we'll be posting an Instagram post. And Pookie, luckily, said that he's going to share it on his Instagram. So I'm excited to see what type of new listeners we could get and educate in our industry.
Awesome, man.
Great. Well, hey, it was awesome talking to you again, D. I hope we could get into the studio and look each other in the eyes and hug once more. But I'm hoping people are enjoying our home studio podcast episodes. This is fun.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're loving it. And don't tell them our secret. Come on.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening, everyone.